Hey, this is Brandon Miller with A-Pro Home Inspections. Just wanted to give you a quick walkthrough here. If you have any questions on receipt of this, just give us a call or shoot us an email. So we'll go ahead and get you a walkthrough. All right. First thing is here in the kitchen space, we tested all your appliances here. Dishwasher's actually still running. All of these are in good shape and properly working. We are going to call out an anti-tip device on our range here. It could fall forward if a child was wanting to climb up here. Aside from that, the appliances are in good shape. So we're going to move on over into the garage area here as we go. We got the lights. Oh, there it is. All right, so there's a little bit, I think you may have already been aware of it, where we're missing some flashing on the exterior side right above the front door. It's caused a little bit of damage here in the ceiling of the garage here, and then we'll talk a little bit about some other areas. We did do a moisture test on it today, and it's coming in dry, so we're just going to call out for some missing flashing details on the exterior side. Try to button up any of the rot that we've got out there the best we can. You may look at trying to replace a little bit of that, down the road. So, also taking a look in here in the garage, open and close the garage door. The resistance to close is a little strong on that, so I'd recommend having it backed off. There's typically a little force to close dial on your motor here, so it will hit something and then go back up. Moving on over here is our electric panel. We are 200 amps on here. And this is your main shutoff. You've got a couple extra spots in here. Open this panel up. Wiring behind it looks great. You got copper wiring throughout. No real issues going on in behind the panel. Electrical is in good shape. Okay. And we're moving on. Laundry room checked out just fine. I recommend, since this is a finished space, to put steel braided hoses where you connect your supply pipes, just because you don't want a good burst in here and then flooding your entire house. So that'll just be a recommendation for us. As we go, the floors seem to be pretty good shape. We do have some, I believe, some original windows. Some of the windows, most of them are opening and closing just fine, but we'll talk about a few of them once we get there. Electrical, all the outlets that we've tested are properly grounded, properly wired. These two casement windows, I just don't think that they've been opened in a long time. You might be able to get them open, but we didn't want to break the mechanisms on those. So you could probably take a putty knife here and go around the surround to try to get them to open properly with the correct hardware. But today we're going to call them as inoperative. Also, this fireplace, this is a direct vent or a ventless fireplace. We tried to ignite the pilot light right here. The pilot light would ignite, but it would not stay lit, so we couldn't really operate the fireplace. I would recommend a servicing on this. Also, since this is a ventless fireplace, I would also recommend having a carbon monoxide meter here in the house. These are designed to be ventless, but just as a secondary precaution, when operating this, make sure that you have a carbon monoxide meter in the house, and really, frankly, in this room. All right, moving on. Coming on over here to where that front door area is. I just kind of want to show it to you. It's clouding up. I think we're going to get some rain. Anyway, right above here, we're missing some flashing. It's called kick-out flashing that needs to kick the water out back into the gutters. Anyway, we've got a little bit of rot right here, and water's been coming down behind this wall and also into the garage space. And then also in the front door area and the hardwood floor here. I don't know if you can see it, but this is rotted out just a little bit here on the hardwoods as well. And then there's also some damage in the basement area as well. So I would say some minor damage. What we need to do is just make sure we get flashing there, do some fixing, and then I think we should just monitor that particular area. Moving on, we're going to go upstairs here. The railings all look good. So we test every door, every outlet, every window we can get our hands to. The rooms themselves are in pretty good shape. No real issues here. This right front bedroom is where your attic hatch is. And we did get ourselves in there. We're going to call it about an R38 blown fiberglass. The greater the R value, the greater it resists heat loss. No real big issues up there. No leaks found. Just recommend your exhaust vents from your bathrooms are exhausting into that space. Outside of that, we're in good shape. In this bedroom, this window here we couldn't get locked. It just the locking mechanism does not want to match up real easily. So fortunately, it's on the second floor. It's an aging window. You might be able to do some repairs to it so it'll lock for you. Moving on in here into the bathroom space. The way that we test plumbing is we try to operate all the systems at the same time. We're trying to identify slow drains, backups, leaks, pressure. And it's good to say that we're not really getting any leaks here today. No backups found either. And we do have adequate pressure when operating more than one system at a time. It'll just be imperative that you make sure that you maintain the caulking around the surround and also up top. You can see where it's starting to peel on some paint, so I'd certainly recommend some caulking up there. Outside of that, this bathroom is in good shape. Moving down, we'll go down into the master bedroom real quick. Master bedroom, we were able to open these windows. A couple of these windows, this one I believe has had a little bit of moisture to it. You can see here. And then on the exterior side, there's been some rot on some of the window frames as well. So some general maintenance, especially when you go to paint on the exterior side, there's a number of different spots where we have some rot that we're going to call out, and we'll have pictures here further into the report for you. Moving on, this is moving over into the master bathroom area. We had one little small issue with this fixture. I had to turn the water off. When operating this fixture, it didn't really operate very well, and it had just a tiny little trickle coming down here, and it couldn't turn it on, couldn't turn it off. So I ended up just turning the water off underneath. This fixture, I believe, just needs to be replaced. It's probably corroded on the inside here, and it's just twisting and turning. You can't really turn it on and off. The Whirlpool tub, we did run through its paces. No real issues on it. Just make sure that you maintain the caulking around the surround, as well as caulking needed in the shower space, specifically in the corners, and then also along the base here. You can try to take this caulk out and replace it with new caulking, and that'll help alleviate some of the grossness there. The rest of this room is in good shape. I'm going to have a comment about this door here. It pulls on the carpet below. You may be able to trim the bottom off of this so it doesn't damage your carpet in any way, but it's really tight against the carpet, so it's hard to open and close. All right, moving down to the basement. Before we do that, we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about your HVAC system and your thermostat. So we did operate the cooling and the furnace here today. We're getting proper drops on the air conditioner. I believe we're at 16, 17 degrees lower at supply than what it was at return, and that does indicate that it's operating properly. Just an annual servicing on both units should go a long way with keeping them in good shape. Furnace, we did operate that on an off-season basis here today. It was getting a nice blue flame, and just needs a new filter and a service. Outside of that, it's in great shape. Oops. Right down here in the basement area, this is the area underneath the front stoop where we've had a little bit of moisture. You can see right in through here. I believe that's, again, just indicative of that missing flashing that we have upstairs. So we've kind of hammered that to death, but it's important because it can cause a lot of issues, right? So as far as the rest of the foundation goes, the foundation on the house all the way around on a visual inspection looks really good. Hardly any cracking at all. I didn't see any areas of any kind of moisture intrusion from the exterior side or in the basement here, so that's great news. I do have some areas on the back slope here where you might want to add some dirt just to get a nice flow away from the house. Some of the drainage back there flows back to the house, but outside from that, looked pretty good as far as drainage goes. See if I can find a light. Here we go. There we go. Moving on over here, you got one of your main wastes. Over here by your water heater is your main water shutoff. You've also got a pressure regulator here. When we have a pressure regulator, we do recommend an expansion tank to be installed at the water heater, which we do not have. I'd probably wait until you need to replace this water heater before you install one. For that fact, the water heater is in great shape. It's working like it should here today. No real issues with it, and it should give you some decent life left, as it's a 2014 unit. It's 6 years old. They tend to last 7 to 12. Hopefully you've got some good life left on it, and as it's working today. Again, here's your furnace system. It's working just fine here today. Just an annual servicing, as well as for your humidifier here. No real major concerns in the property. I'd say the biggest deal is just that moisture from the exterior side right at that front stoop area where we're missing flashing and so forth. So that's probably the biggest deal here in the house. And then we also have a little bit of some rot on the exterior trim that you'll see in the report as well. Aside from that, I do appreciate you having us out here today. And if you have any questions, please give us a call or shoot us an email. Take care.